Hey, this is Matt from VMP Performance, and today on Shop Talk Saturday, we're going to show you the benefits of installing a VMP fuel pump voltage booster on a 2014 GT500. So let's get started. Alright guys, we just did our baseline dyno pull. The fuel pump duty cycle is hitting 50%, which is wide open in 4 terms at 5800. The fuel pressure is staying stable, but the fuel pumps are done. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the VMP Performance fuel pump voltage booster, and we're going to re-dyno it and see how much better the fuel pump duty cycle is compared to where it is now. So the fuel pump duty cycle being at 50%, which is really wide open in 4 terms, means that the fuel pumps cannot flow any more fuel. They have full voltage going to them at all times. So at that point in time, as fuel demand increases, the pressure is going to start to drop. Once you get to a point where there's not enough pressure, it's going to lean out, bad things happen, fireworks, buses full of children, all kinds of stuff. It's all horrible. Your factory voltage on your typical car usually runs at 13 to 14 volts. So what the fuel pump voltage booster does is it gives the fuel pumps up to 18 volts. So it's spinning them faster and they're pumping more fuel, which allows the system to handle a higher horsepower handling on the stock fuel pumps that are in the tank. All right, so first step is open up the trunk. We're going to go inside, pull the trunk mat out to access both of our FPDMs. So we have FPDM number 1 and FPDM number 2 over here. Both of these are going to get disconnected, and this is where you're going to install the fuel pump voltage boosters. The next step is you're going to find a suitable mounting place for these. We supply a Velcro package, which works for the people that don't want to screw it into the metal. You can also use these holes here and sheet metal screw it if you want. I like to stick them right here on this flat rear bulkhead with the supplied Velcro. So let's try that. Probably the hardest part of the job. Stick there. Alright, now, okay, after we attach our fuel pump booster, what we're going to do is install this ground wire. My favorite place is this stud that Ford has conveniently given us right here. So you're going to take a 10mm and remove this stud. And there we go. All right. Now our next step, which is probably the easiest, you're going to take our harness, and it is going to, oh geez, we're going to take our harness and plug it in here, and the other end plugs into the factory one, and pushes down, and then we connect our final one from the voltage booster. There we are. And now we repeat for the other side. Okay, so we're all done here in the trunk. So we can go ahead and put the carpet mat back in it, and then we're going to go to the front and install some supplied 40 amp fuses that supplies power to these. So let's go up front. Okay, so now that we're done in the back, we're going to come up front. Our next step is we're going to install the supplied 40 amp fuses to replace the two 20 amp fuses located in fuse 13 and 14 position. This is because the fuel pump booster pulls more amperage, so these factory 20 amp fuses are not going to be enough. And that will do it. Okay, so for the final step, make sure you get the tune update from VMP. It's going to make sure that you get the most life out of your fuel pump. There's a couple things that need to be changed, otherwise you tend to overwork the fuel pump. So as the final step, we're going to get this tune loaded into the car and we're going to see how much the duty cycle drops on it. Okay, so we just finished installing our fuel pump voltage boosters and we just did another pull on the car and they're doing a great job. Our fuel pump duty cycle went from 100% duty cycle at 5800 down to 80% duty cycle all the way at 65. So we've basically added a solid 20 to 25% of capacity to the fuel system using the VMP booster. A lot of people also consider the fact, they say, oh, these aren't really that safe, but something to think about is one, it's only being used at wide open throttle, and two, fuel pumps are just electric motors, and it's not like you're spinning them to the moon and back. So you're going from 14 volts to 18 volts. It's not that big of a deal. They're just spinning a little bit faster to pump a little bit more fuel. We've seen no measurable data that shows anything about them shortening the life on them whatsoever. So as far as them being safe, in my opinion, they're perfectly fine. So basically, from what we've seen here, it's doing exactly what we needed it to do. It's taking the stock fuel system, giving it the extra capacity it needs without having to go to a big, expensive aftermarket fuel system. And remember, if you'd like to pick up one of these VMP fuel pump voltage boosters, remember to check out sales department or give us a call, or you can shop online. And in the meantime, remember that if you'd like to see Shop Talk Saturday, remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe button.